Bark like a dog.
What we talking about? Time to get in your bag. Yeah, you know the drill. But word is bond. Time to get out your feels. You're not rocking with DJ Train. What up, Train? And DJ Skills. What up, Skills? And Theo the Great. With a real is real.
Deck.
Talk about you.
What?
You talking about what the fuck I did? What the fuck you done did?
I did what I did because you did what you did.
So you
Back to back episodes.
I did what I did because you did what you
Back to back episodes during Woman History Month.
did. I did because you did.
Nigga, the last part we tried to big up black women. That shit.
That's a tough line, man. That's a tough
Yo, instead
line.
of bigging them up, we went through all our pain and trauma that they done gave us.
Nah, listen, that's a very touchy subject, bro.
This is my shit right here.
I mean, that's a part of sex, right?
It's a very touchy subject.
You ain't know that?
Oh, you fucking
I mean, you act
No,
like I
you're-
did it for that long. I couldn't even do it that long because it was too big.
It's Fred?
You already know it's Fred.
R.I.P. Fred the Godson.
Aubrey Fred the Godson, man.
I don't give a fuck about you anymore. I don't give a fuck about you anymore, girl. Anymore.
Shit bring me back to a dark time.
Told you it's gonna cost you.
Told you.
I misplaced things, I'm sorry if I lost you. Yeah, right, I fucked your best friend purposely. My heart's Teflon, how dare you try hurting me? I fucked shorty you hate, I told her work with me, and she do it better than you, bitch, that's word to me. You sent the vid to your Facebook. I wish I seen how your face look. Why I'm violating, you a pretender. You caught amnesia, you don't remember. Well, I got the memory of an elephant. I would say the nigga name, but he ain't relevant.
You think this is like that's the realest relationship song out ever?
Definitely top 3.
Quick,
Nah.
top 3. What's your top 3?
Yeah.
I know what number 1 is already.
Iman, fuck you.
I forgot about that.
I ain't gonna lie,
shit.
that was number
That
one.
is-
I ain't gonna lie, that's
that-
number 1 on my list. Savage Anthem has moved up.
Damn, I forgot about that shit. Yeah, that's word. I felt
Listen,
that.
anytime I went through some shit, put Iman, fuck you.
Yo,
What?
I forgot about. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change my shit.
Let's get into it. We'll get into everybody.
All right, we are back with the Real is Real podcast. I am DJ Train.
I go by the name of Skills.
And yo, this is Theo the Great.
And finally, we have our get.
That's crazy. I forgot. Yo, that song was crazy.
Yo, we have Preach on the set.
Our engineer.
Um,
This is the man behind the scenes.
We've
the one
been-
that put all this together.
yeah, we've been dealing with Preach. Actually, we were just talking about it. We've been dealing with Preach for 4 years now.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Help us with our live.
That shit is crazy.
Oh yeah.
That shit was for the live podcast.
Yeah, man.
Word.
He made that possible. Preach, you want to introduce yourself, man?
I'm Preach. I don't even know how to do introductions. Nah.
If you're on Clubhouse, you know how to do it.
No, I can't do Clubhouse. Is supposed to be that new. Yeah, Clubhouse is that new wave, I guess. Like, I own CSL Studios Media Company. I own Native 90. We have the label now, which I'm excited about. Yeah, and Dad, I guess.
The label you signing artists?
He has a record label?
I don't know if it like this. I want to be careful when I say it, just because like, you know, I don't want to get bombarded with demos and shit. Not thinking, not just being real. Like,
That nigga shit is trash.
not even-
Right?
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Like, don't expect a check from me. Like, you're gonna get like, yo, we gonna go in a tour bus type shit. Like, nah, bro. Like, it's more like, I've always felt like, I've always loved music and loved making music. I just never really, went full tilt with it.
Right.
And so, like, there's artists that I hear that I fuck with and that are like either clients or guests of clients or whatever that have been in the studio. So,
Right.
you know, we have conversations, and I'm like, yo, let's put this record out. Like, I'll put it out, and we can market it a little bit and see how it works. And then that's pretty much what we're doing. Like, we released something today with my man Illa G. Shout out to him. So we released the single out. I produced the beat, and then it's just shit that like I do when I want. Like,
so you don't post this on the CLO?
We did. I actually did today. Yeah, we did today. Like,
I must have missed that.
like my thing is, you know what's crazy? Like the whole marketing aspect of shit. Like,
Is that shit tough for you? Or
yeah, it is because I'm
OD?
just not. I'm not that. Like, I can't be on a phone.
Yeah, and that's hard.
Certain people have it to a science.
Yo, it's tough, and I don't have it to a science.
Yeah.
I don't have it to.
What times are the posting hours?
Yo, listen.
That don't even work no more, bro.
Yeah,
Algorithm
Because they always change the algorithms
So-
through Instagram and shit. So
I've taken like seminars.
yeah, me too.
You did too?
I took the Google one. Google had one. Facebook had a free one. I've been to them. Like, I've been there in person, and it's still like, you know, it's just a lot of detail you have to understand, a lot of time. And like for somebody like me, I have like 15 different things going on. Quite frankly, like marketing is something you have to be like in.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be like doing that on a regular basis.
And
so.
even when you take these seminars, I feel like it changes month to month.
Yeah.
So the same methods that they was teaching last month
Doesn't
no
work.
longer works.
No, you're 100%
That shit
right.
is like, that shit's tiring.
No, it's
man.
100% right. So like we're looking for somebody to like do marketing for us. Like, we've had a few people here and there, but I also like need to organize like the stuff that we do, because like we have the podcast studio, and then we have the label, and then we have the mobile stuff that we do, and
Yeah,
then
it's a lot. Yeah.
then we have the video stuff that we do.
And those are separate things to
Yeah.
promote. It's
Mhm,
hard to
exactly.
like try to jam all of those things into one thing
Yeah.
and push it out to people, because now people are like, all right, so I want this service, and they don't know about this service. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That shit is tough,
Right,
man.
right.
I mean,
it's very detailed. Like, it's just very like, and this can be confusing if you look at our timeline. Like, okay, you have a podcast studio and you also put out music.
yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here, Preach? Like, pick one thing, bro.
Wouldn't you think that? But wouldn't that go hand in hand though?
You would think so, yeah. But like, you know, it's weird because, you know, the way, like he mentioned, like in these seminars, they like you to concentrate on a specific lane that you're doing. So
Right.
if your thing is podcasts,
Yeah, you got to push that
podcast
only.
studioing,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, all right,
pushing
show
that.
more of that.
Yeah.
They don't really, it's hard to,
cross market.
cross market, unless, I mean, I think we kind of have it and know what we'll do with it, but it's still a difficult, and it's also patience. Like, I just don't have the patience for it. Like, you know, making sure I put the right post, the right picture,
Right,
right
yes,
hashtags.
yeah.
Because if you don't do the right hashtag, then a lot of people are gonna
hashtags,
see it. So it's
Less text. They
that's
told me
what-
less text.
yeah.
So I got a question for you. This podcast world that we're in, right? Like, it's becoming more because I say we came in a little early, and and I think we was late, but most people say we came in early because it was 4 years ago, and a lot of people picking up. Where do you see podcasts going? Because you are like heavy in this role, and you've been here since before. Because people don't know. Preach had a radio station, like Preach had an internet radio station, like so he's been doing this for a while. So where do you see podcasts going and stuff like that?
Wait, time out. When did you open up the studio?
So it was like, actually, this year's our 10th year. So we've been open
Word?
10 years. I actually found pictures of like when I was in my oven. I'll pull it up. Where I was in my, like, I had another room and we used it as a studio.
Hold on,
to do the
niggas was
radio.
podcasting in 2010?
Yeah, like not a lot of people, but people were. Like, people, we didn't. So when we started in 2010, we were trying to do a radio station.
Yeah.
So we were basing it off of, like, I like different types of music, so I wanted to do something similar more to East Village Radio rather than
What kind of music? Not to cut you off.
anything. Like, I listen to whatever. It could be Brazilian funk shit or like Afrobeat or obviously hip hop, R&B. I just don't get into country shit, but I don't do it. I don't do that. But we were trying to kind of base ourselves off of East Village Radio, and then that was like a radio station like in the city, like it was literally a storefront, and we were like kind of, and there was like DTF as well. There was PNC Radio, and yeah, we were doing that from like 2010 to 2012. Like, I was building the studio as we were kind of trying to develop stuff. And quite frankly, like, it just was not it. Like, internet radio is just so hard.
But it was at one point. That's how I forgot what billionaire got started off. Was it Mark Cuban? Did he get?
No, he just got it based off the internet. Like,
that was
yeah.
Napster. He was part of that tech company with Napster.
Yeah.
But
internet radio was like, nah, it's not. It's a very, because you
tough
got to
to
pay. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
pay for like licensing and and then it's just annoying. And then what we were doing, we were renting out time slots. but clients weren't taking it serious. Like they were. So let's say you book 8 to 10, and they'd show up at like 8:15, and it's like, yo, you used to have to do an intro, and it's like it just didn't work. Like when you go against monsters like Hot 97 and Power 105 and all these radio stations, like we just got to the point where it was like, nah, it's not really worth it.
So in 2012 is when you transitioned.
Yeah, so 2012 we started getting like clients who were doing podcasting on the side, and we were like, they were like, "Yo, do y'all do podcasting here?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like you lose your
music video, rap video, and all.
Yeah, and then so it's an interesting question because you're saying like where are we going with it? I remember when we first started, like. Podcasting was so dope because one, it's on demand. There wasn't any pressure in terms of, yo, you got to start the show at this time, you got to leave at this time.
Right.
It's more you have a time slot or whatever. And people would pull up and people genuinely loved it. Like they were into it. People would cross promote. So like one podcast would be done, another podcast would be coming in, and it'd be like, oh, you do this? All right, bet. So let's do an episode together.
Yeah,
it was all love. It was all like everybody just getting along, and it got to a point where like we didn't even do marketing like that. We did marketing through hearsay. So everybody, if you were a guest and you came to the podcast studio, you were like, oh shit, there's a podcast studio. How much is it? Oh shit, this is affordable. All right, let's do it. Now it's gotten to a point where it's mad cliquish. Like it's like the podcasting now, it's weird to see it just because I'm happy at where it's at. Like it's a legitimate platform right now and everybody fucks with it.
Oh,
I remember niggas used to laugh at this shit. It was like podcasting, like the fuck is that? It's a waste of time. There's no money in that shit. Now everybody in there, my mother got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like Haitian ass. Like everybody got a podcast now, which is cool. But like with any media outlet, you know, you get the haves and you get the Chonabes, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's gotten to the point where it's just mad cliquish. Like it's like I fuck with this group, so I don't fuck with this other group. Or I want to talk about this, and I don't really want to delve into that. And I know this person, but he was a guest on that podcast, so I don't fuck with him no more. Or
Word? It's that bad?
It's gotten to that point where it's just like it's just weird. It's not communal as it once was. And and then you also got to realize, like, it's also like, I don't want to say neighborhoods, but it's like, you know, oh, this is a Harlem-based podcast as opposed to a Brooklyn-based podcast, as opposed to a Queens-based podcast.
Yeah, we're clearly not in tune with the podcast game because I had no idea this shit was like the lunchroom.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's become
what kind of shit is going on.
And then like, but it's also like attached to Twitter. So like people have beefs through Twitter and then explain it on their podcast and have problems with this person.
Imagine if we had to wait a whole week to clap back at You Good.
So it's just like it's weird. Like it's, you know, I'm still excited about it. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like even I've had like my certain reservations about how much should we be still be in this game and.
So that's what I was gonna ask.
So
from start till now, granted, I feel like I'm kind of jumping the gun.
No, that's good.
But what was your original vision, and is it like what it is, what you expected now, or even greater beyond it? I feel like you cornering the market, low key.
That's a great question. I didn't it's just I envisioned to have a radio station where we played everything, and we'd have events, and we'd have like I just envisioned this whole big thing, a bigger thing. Like, oh no, we're gonna be like in competition with like legit radio and you know, play what everybody else plays. Unfortunately, like on-demand music is it. So I'm not saying it's the death of radio, but you know, I mean,
radio's for superstars. Radio's not for regular people.
Yeah, like it's radio right now. I don't know if we necessarily need it anymore. To be honest with you,
it's like cable TV.
Now I understand why
some to a certain degree, because like y'all are DJs, right? So the radio DJ at one point broke records or played the hottest records, or they had a certain mix that they played. Mr. C was the throwback at noon. Then Flex had it.
The bomb. He dropped that bomb on your track. Your track is it.
I don't my nigga, I think that died when blogs became hot. Blogs became the new DJ because blogs was breaking music.
Yeah.
And then when time went on, like now you go to playlists now. Like people are breaking songs on playlists. They don't really, or a show that I watched, they played it in the background, or a video game.
Yeah.
I feel like it was YouTube that low key.
Well, YouTube, yeah, YouTube, like.
But what I've learned with radio, in the sense of radio compared to on-demand music, if you're on already or you have a machine behind you and you get on radio, you become that superstar, that star, because everybody hears you with like somebody's driving. Because people do play the radio when they're driving.
Right. People
do play 105.1, the Breakfast Club and stuff like that. So if your song makes it there, then it's like you're that guy. But to sense like it doesn't break music, but it solidifies your music. Like
I get what you're saying, but I'll be honest. I've never listened to Breakfast Club to listen to DJ Envy.
Yeah, I never. I mean, no offense to him. Much respect. He's a Queens. Queens
Yeah. Like respect to what he's done, but
yeah, South Jamaica.
But I can't remember the last time I've listened to the radio to hear the hottest.
Yeah, I don't.
Song,
I don't.
You know what I mean? Honestly, I've gotten more hottest songs from this guy when he was going through heartbreak. Honestly, I'm kind of mad he's back in a relationship. That nigga ain't got no more. That nigga was putting me back onto some shit. Like when this nigga go through some heartbreak, this nigga got some playlists.
Is there money in podcasting?
Well, I mean, as far as the studio or the podcast,
I'm talking podcast itself.
So have a podcast itself. It can if you go through a certain blueprint. I don't want to poo-poo it just because, like, obviously, like, yes, just to answer the question, yes, there is money in it, but you also have to put the work in it. Like
that's for anything. Yeah,
that's for anything. Yeah. But you know, if you. And also, like, podcasting has also changed to the point where it's like, podcasting now is more of a base of your brand than the brand now. Meaning, like,
I get what you're saying.
You know, like, if you're a popular podcast, all right, yeah, that's who we are. Nowadays, like, if you're doing a podcast, it has to be accompanied with something else. Like
producer, artist, event.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like you're attached to, we're having this event, or we're attached to this type of show on TV, or we're attached to something. I don't know if you could necessarily, or your video got to be popping. Like your video type of podcast got to be popping. Like if you're just doing like, once a month audio podcast, unless you're Beyonce, it's going to be really tough for you to really gain traction.
Or Michelle Obama.
Right, exactly. Like that's the thing. Like, and that's the one tip I will tell podcasters coming up. Like, don't compare yourself to Joe Budden or the Michelle Obamas.
That's what everybody put their standards at.
You shouldn't do that because Joe Budden could call Pusha T on his phone.
Yeah.
You don't call managers and he doesn't call assistants and come pull up.
Yeah.
And Pusha T shows up. You can't compare. Joe Budden has been in the game and knows the industry people and and friends with these rappers. Same thing with Nori. Nori don't call Fat Joe's manager. Nori calls Fat Joe and says, come to the show.
Like he had a conversation with Pharrell and they talking like they best
friends. Exactly. Like they know each other. You know what I'm saying?
But time out. So podcasting has turned into like a sort of, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
But they're using it as like you're an artist, a performing artist. So of course, Joe Budden can call these people, Nori can call these people, but this podcast, like, Horrible Decisions.
Yeah, yes, we've had them here.
So they're going on tour,
100%.
and they don't necessarily have.
They don't need guests
because they don't need guests, and they don't need like the popularity people to chime in, and they're still going
to go there. All right, let's do it. Yes.
I don't think so. That's my opinion. Like, I don't think they need. They can't call Pusha T. They can't call these people.
So the origin of them, and shout out to them.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They actually started here at CSO.
I feel like a lot of people started.
I think so
in the
too.
Urban, I guess I hate even using that word urban, but
in our community.
In our community, I guess, yeah.
I feel like anybody's come through you.
So they started with us, and as the story goes, like they were cool, I guess, in Orlando or whatever.
They're from Florida.
I think so. I don't even want. I think so.
I think one of them is I think Mandy's from here. The other one is from Florida. I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to Mandy and Weezy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I just saw them as clients when they would book. I just saw the name and I was like, all right, they're coming in or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just remember one time I'm sitting down listening to their show. I'm like, oh shit, they're like pretty good.
Yeah.
They have. So here's the thing. Like, you're right. Like, they don't need. They did have guests though.
No,
they
I
had,
know. Yeah.
They had popular guests in the beginning, but quite frankly, like their fans fell in love with them because they were willing to talk about
Anything and everything.
sex.
Yeah.
In a very blunt manner,
Right.
meaning like they didn't care what it was they didn't give a fuck if you judged them or not.
Right,
Like
yeah.
we don't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
See,
So yeah, I sat there and I was like, yo, y'all are like y'all could really do something. Like y'all and they did it consistent. Like they
Right.
were cranking out episodes. Like they were legitimately like.
are we talking about like twice a week, once a week?
They were probably. I would no lie. They were probably doing 4 a week. They were probably doing 4 episodes a week. Like they would book a Tuesday and a Thursday. They would book 2 hours and do a episode each hour.
Okay.
And then stack them and stack them and stack them.
So they have a back catalog that's
Yeah,
crazy.
they had a back catalog. Certain artists would flake, or certain guests would flake, or they were just consistent with
and
it.
never miss a beat. You
They never missed a beat.
Yeah.
Like, and their content was good. Like they knew what their premise was. They knew what their lane was. They knew what they were, and they have personalities. Like they're in your face personalities.
Yeah.
So when we saw that, I was like, yo, y'all should legit like do a live show. Like y'all should think about it. And they were like, oh, you think so? And then we did that, and it was a great success. Like they sold out like that.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were up on game, and they were in touch with it. Like their bass was crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
And they engaged with them too.
They
so.
engaged with them. Like they put sex toys on the table. I was like, what is all this? Like, should I like? They were just out the box with it. So
I tried doing this.
I kind of knew. Like I was like, yo, they're gonna be successful. I would tell them this all the time. I was like, the only people that's gonna stop y'all is y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna be successful. So,
So not to cut you up. I've
Okay.
tried doing it with these niggas right here.
what is that? Sex toys?
Nah, not even something. Having
Oh yeah, niggas is some freak shit tonight.
nah, just having these niggas feel comfortable because like the whole point of why it's called real is real is
Right.
let's uphold that title. Let's be real.
Right, of course.
Like I try to get these niggas to be comfortable and talk about certain shit.
Mm-hmm.
Skills more so he's comfortable. He breaks out his shell here and there.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's still reserved. If anyone's holding back this podcast, is this nigga right here. This nigga won't even admit that he likes sucking toes. Like I want you to understand, we were in a car the whole time. His shorty's basically saying he sucked toes. Ask a nigga right now, preacher, if that nigga suck toes. Why?
She never said that.
Yo, train, do you suck toes?
She never said
All right,
that.
see what I'm talking about? Listen, I want you to understand, we'll forever line your pockets because we ain't going
Yo, bro, like,
With the toes right there.
yo, but that's his thing. There's nothing. Listen,
That's what I'm saying. Everyone knows, but he won't ever say it.
Listen, owning this studio, I've seen some stuff that's very minimal compared to the stuff that we've seen.
Can we
Like,
break through the minimal?
low key? Like we've seen. Oh man,
Yo,
we've
niggas
seen
at
some
home
stuff.
holding their dicks ready to beat off and shit like this. Nigga won't even say that he sucked toes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying I'm just saying an aspect of the
I
people
don't know
who
where this
listen
is
to.
going. I don't know where this is going. He said some wild shit just now.
I'm just saying in the aspect of. I'm pretty sure when you say you listen to the podcast with your shorties and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure what follows right after is sex, right? All right, see what I'm pointing? That's what I'm trying to say.
He does bring up a point where it's like read the room. Like, yo, you have to also be able to take some chances and open yourself up. It goes with. I think this is the only thing that a lot of our clients don't realize as of yet, and I don't know if you guys realize it as of yet, or maybe you do. Is that what you are saying on the mic? Sooner or later, you get to a point you're gonna have to hold yourself to what you say. So, and you got to be able to tell yourself, are you willing to stand by it or defend yourself to it?
Right.
So, for instance, somebody like, let's say you bring up the toe thing. Let's say you at an event, you're hosting an event. Let's say real hosting an event, and for whatever reason, somebody's joking with you. Yo, that's the sucking toe nigga. Fuck that little. Yo, what kind of corny shit is that? Yeah. You gotta sit there and be like my G, but I'm doing something and you're in the sidelines. Yeah. I don't deal with sideline reporters.
Or I just don't suck toes. just the God honest truth. You know
what I'm saying? We gonna be here forever.
Or we can just stick with the truth and just say, you know, I don't suck toes.
Preach, what I mean, we gonna be here forever.
Yeah, I want you to you understand?
Yo, Preach, I want you to understand. The first three seasons, it was speculation. Right? I want you to understand, last year it was confirmed. We went on a trip with this nigga.
Yeah, that's a fact.
His shorty basically said, yeah, he sucked my toes.
So what's wrong with that though?
I just don't do it though.
I definitely don't do it.
If I did it, I would say like I've
So,
sucked
what's
the
a
toe
kink
too.
that you got that you do that nobody knows? Be real.
Yeah, we can
And
go
nobody
there.
knows.
Yeah, nobody knows. Yeah, kink that you got that nobody knows.
I'll say I like getting slapped. Like I like. I'm being real. I like getting slapped.
See what I'm talking about? Yo, I want you to understand. I'm trying to. I want you to understand.
I like that. Yeah.
If I get, I like getting slapped in the face. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. So you know what's funny? The other
Like,
day, the other day, I
so
actually tried.
aggressive to be liking the
nah, for real, son.
You know what's funny? The other day, I actually tried that with my shorty.
Yeah.
But it was not during sex. I tried it out. Like I went to go work out. Right. And
Right.
I'm not feeling. I'm like, yo, slap me.
Yeah.
She looked at me like, what do you mean? I said, slap me. Come on, this. I said, no, slap me like you fuck me.
That's a mood, my nigga.
I realized it wasn't for me, but that shit was. I didn't let her shit.
But let me clear up. I don't mean like bruise my face or nothing like that. I'm just saying like we could get a little like
make you feel it a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about no spanking type shit either. Like I'm talking about a little smack in the face or whatever.
You gotta tell us a kink, bro. What up, son?
You gotta say king too though.
I'll say one too. Don't worry.
You don't know that motherfucker. like I said, he ain't the one that's holding. Like I said, he ain't the one that's holding the shit back.
It's crazy.
This motherfucker right
Oh, yeah, so Train, what is one of your kinks, bro?
Yo, honestly,
this is gonna be a good one.
I'm telling you, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not.
if I had to be like
Daredevilish today.
yeah, if I had to like say some wild shit, and like you said earlier about saying things that you have to stand on, you understand?
Right.
So it may be certain things that I don't want to say,
Right. And you don't want to have to
because I don't want to have to stay on that ledge.
And you
What are you talking about? So
You understand
So
what I'm
Shorty
saying?
say, so you say, oh, I eat ass, right? And Shorty say, prove it. Show me how good. Prove it.
No, it's not. I
I
don't
don't
go like
know,
that.
man.
Not like that.
All right, so let me ask you this one because I was actually doing a show, and I don't even know why I don't do it anymore. It was a podcast on porn. Like, what is your categories then? Y'all watch porn?
Oh yeah, I do like Ebony Teens. I do like
I don't do that anymore.
You used to do that?
Ebony Teen, I'm more into the hood shit though. Like I tell people, I like the Hennessy
smack
on
the shit.
the Hennessy on the bottle.
Oh, with Tim's
Like,
on?
yeah, like the Brownsville. Like, yo, I think I know that girl. Like,
Yo, so all right, so that's my
I
category.
like that. I like the ebony amateur.
I like the
shit.
aspect of like,
Yeah,
yo,
I like amateur stuff as
Yeah,
well.
the ebony amateur shit. Like,
I
that's-
don't like it too hood though.
I love a good story, bro. Give me a good story.
so I'm not gonna like no. So there was a time period where I was addicted more to the story than the porn.
you would addicted more to the story.
There was a time period.
So you would actually watch the whole 30 minutes of a scene.
So
No
here's
way.
a prime. No.
Oh, you're a
Yeah,
serial
yeah,
killer.
yeah.
You
No,
do
so
that?
matter of fact,
No way.
so do you guys remember this video that came out? I think it was called Exotic Fantasies, where a girl was shown how to suck dick, right?
No, I don't.
So she was
Paint the
sucking a dildo, whatever, right?
Oh, is this with the grapefruit or not?
The grapefruit that run that shit.
Okay.
I made a couple of girls watch that shit. I'm talking about start to finish, because that not
no,
only
that's
was it
different.
good, not only was it good, but son, this shit was.
Nah, that was some other shit.
You know what I mean?
That was some
Then there's
other
the whole
shit.
like, yo, I like when girls do the whole. So my shit that I'm kind of into, like let's say, I open the door for delivery man, naked.
You him?
the classic a pizza boy shit. Like,
No.
Oh,
It
you
sounds
Pizza
classic,
Boy?
but these are real girls.
Oh,
You
you
can
like the
tell that it's
stories?
real. Yeah, you can tell it's actual
okay.
real girls
Okay.
opening the door for the delivery man, whatever, and say they're getting.
Oh,
you type
word?
this shit in,
That's some real shit.
It's some real shit.
Yo, you know what has crazy? Twitter got some shit.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter,
my
porn
boys-
Twitter porn is better than like Pornhub and something.
It's not-
I don't even know where to look in Twitter porn, but like I've seen people send me some shit. I'm like, God damn, it's on Twitter.
So for me, for Twitter, it's for me. So I've learned how to. So Reddit and Twitter. So let's say you want to find a girl's OnlyFans page, right?
Right.
Some of these girls be trying to have their rent paid off of one subscription. So
Oh
like, all right,
yeah, they were tripping off.
Yeah,
that. But
so
that's
I'd be
some money
like-
making now, right?
find a way how to get through that. You go to Reddit, type the girl's OnlyFans name with Reddit. Sometimes because other niggas be looking out for other niggas,
Yeah.
they'll put their shit up on the internet for you, let you know whether it's worth it or not. Or if you go to some girls, what they'll do is they'll put their shit up on their Twitter page.
My nigga, you letting out the secrets out here, bro.
Yo,
That's what's up.
I think what we should do as a pod is the BDST.
Can you guys still hear me?
I got my headphones on.
My shit went out. That's
Oh, it's just probably a headphone.
We should do the BDSM test, and then we come in and read off our results as a podcast.
Oh man.
So basically, like it's a kink test, like things that you're into and stuff like that. So
Oh
that's
man.
so remember, I wrote in the chat, I had put like primal, And I was like, do y'all bite girls like when y'all having sex and stuff like that? Like, do y'all growl and bark and stuff like that?
He did ask a few of those.
Yeah.
Biting, I understand. Growling, that's some other shit.
Oh, nigga.
Yeah, that's your kink?
I got a couple kinks, bro. I'm
a little concerned.
Yeah.
But it's a no judgment zone, man. Like, you do whatever you want. People have their thing with them, man.
Like, go ahead. Talk. Let me see. Talk.
Yo.
Nah, I don't hear you coming in.
Yeah, see what I mean?
But his thing, which one is him?
Hold on. Let me see.
He probably the bottom one.
Hold on. Yeah, you coming in.
All right, here we go. Yeah, just take off your headphones so you're not subconscious.
All right. But yeah, so now
we should take that test as a podcast and just come in and read off our results.
I already know. I mean, I'm open because I'm different from y'all. I feel like because I'm with someone for 7 years. Well, not y'all,
right.
but for 7 years, so I'm more comfortable with trying new shit. Like if I had to, I would suck my shorty's toes.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not a feet. Matter of fact, all right. So true story. I'm not a feet. I hate feet. I don't like. I get so hate when my girl touches me with her feet. Not saying she has ugly feet or anything like that. I just don't like feet. I feel like God, he was being comical when he made toes. You know what I mean?
Right.
But to be, because, this nigga's into toes, whatever. I remember one time. I remember one vacation, I'm with my shorty, you know what I mean? We in the hot tub, you know what I mean? I'm feeling, I remember I lathered her feet up. I did the full massage and everything. I put one in my mouth. Again, this is not for me. You know what I mean? Like so far, I know now what's not for me. And
at least you try.
At least you try. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. This nigga, if you ask this nigga about his sex life,
right?
Apparently, all he does is. I used to room with him in college. Apparently, all he does, I think either doggy style, lay on your stomach, let her do the work, and scream, "Oh shit."
Combination of both.
That's it, son. I'm telling you. I'm telling you
right now, like, you just.
I'm in a good space, man.
Yeah, you not.
I feel high.
You feel like he just finished fucking.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, he has not experienced good sex yet. I'm telling you, he has not experienced good sex.
I mean, that's a difference.
Have you put a thumb in a girl's butt?
Yeah, I did that before.
Yeah, I know you did that. I wanted you to lie about that shit. Nah,
but it got to be the right girl to do that to. You can't just do that to any girl. You got to make sure.
Is that your thing, or you did it once?
That's not my thing. I did it a few times.
She said she liked that shit though.
Yeah, it was cool.
So I want you to understand. So you say you're feeding in the rooms how we'll never go further.
Right.
Like we're trying to private information. He's not budging. I'm just like I said, we'll be here forever.
Right.
What a segue we had.
Yo, we need to trickle back for a second. I do want to ask you about Frickin' Frank because I see like y'all got
Frickin' Frank, yes.
Yeah, Frickin' Frank. My bad. I see I got a little partnership with them. What is that about? Like,
so Frickin' Frank were just regular clients that were just coming to the studio. Shout out to Loon and Brumman. And we would chop it up like Loon, me and Loon would have conversations pre-show, and he was like, yo, like we're trying to really do this, like we're really trying to go hard and we really believe in this shit and like we're really trying to do this. And I'd be like, yeah, cool, that's what's up, whatever. We built a bit of rapport. And then before their season, they were just like, yo, is there a way we can we want to collab in a certain way? And so I had the idea probably like a year and a half ago. I wanted to take a podcast and I had mentioned this on another podcast, but I had wanted to not release it on regular platforms like SoundCloud or Apple Podcasts or anything like that. I wanted to release it like albums, meaning like, instead of it, you playing an episode on SoundCloud, you listen to it on Apple Music. And so for instance, you take your podcast and then you guys are writers, like as if it's a song. So you guys are 3 writers. And so instead of just having plays, you can actually legit like get paid from it, like publishing you're publishing your work.
And basically you be monetizing,
right?
Because we don't know how much a podcast actually worth.
We don't even like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the bullshit about it. Like we were like, yo, like we don't really know how the money's divvied up for music artists anywhere, like any of that. So I was like, you know what? Let me try with them. So I brought them the idea. They were like, all right, fuck, we want to do it. Like, let's do it. So we kind of partnered up. And then and we were uploading it on like regular music platforms, like, and they were considered writers, and we had publishing and all that stuff. And then something weird happened. We got a letter from one of these platforms. It was like, yo, we see what you're trying to do, and you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, well, if I can't do that, why can comedy albums go online? There's no music. There's nothing. There's just a guy talking or a woman talking on stage. and y'all break up each bit.
Wait, who did you found customer support?
They hit us up. We don't know. They hit us up, and so we were like, "Yo, why can't like you sent me a breakdown of the episode? Why can't each breakdown be its own track?" And then we record it that way. We distribute it that way. As long as we pay whatever fees we need to pay for, and we do our due diligence, why can't we do that?
Yeah.
And they couldn't give me an answer, so we went to another platform. They saw what we were doing, and they said, "You can't do that." And instead of giving us an explanation, they were just like, "You can't." So we just taking it down.
Because they don't know how much, because you probably was generating so much money. Because like,
no, we weren't. No,
I'm talking about in the sense of like on their end, not on your end. Because like, if you think about it, a song is 3 minutes, right? Give or take 2 something now. A podcast is like 30 minutes at minimum. I don't know how long theirs is, but like,
I think they're an hour and a half.
Like
about an hour and a half.
Let's say hours. I was about an hour and 15 at most, right? So to have somebody sit there for an hour and 15 minutes on one service for that long. You have to pay out that whole or most of that time, or you should be paying out that most of that time. So it's like we can't really monetize that, and that's how they look at it. Like we really can't. We should.
I don't care.
I know, nigga. That's real shit.
You know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, it is written. You guys are content creators. You guys are writers of content. It is audio recording. So at the end of the day, so whether you're right. So it could be they could look at it that way. I think it goes deeper than that. I think it goes to a point where if we do that, if we let this group do that, we open it up the floodgates.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
And then they're like, "Whoa, what are we doing?" Like I've said this previously. I guarantee you, one day, podcasting will be a category in the Grammys.
Yeah, I think they're working on it right now. They just made a whole new award, the iHeart Awards. You know how they.
Fuck all that shit. I don't fuck with none of them big clay because it's all bullshit. Because they all work together. Yeah. Because I remember hearing on the Joe Budden podcast, it was like, who makes up these numbers on how this should be divvied up? It's just these niggas in the room basically saying, all right, well,
this is how much going to go there.
All right, so let's make one stream worth 0.0005 cents. Who's to say like why is that the case? Like, wait, what? How does that work? So, you know, and I've seen like outlets are trying to do like ways to help it more easier for people or podcasters to monetize the content. But at the end of the day, like if y'all do y'all due diligence and y'all sign up as writers for whatever publishing, whether it be BMI, ASCAP, or whatever, and you distribute your content like that, if you guys generate 1 million listens for an episode, all right, well, compensate them as such. Yeah. Or at least give me a number. Like, at least...
Give me somewhere to gauge to. Like, give me a gauge so I know what the ballpark is. Like,
right, because
we don't know what the ballpark is for podcasts at all. Like, literally at all. And this is why it's such an interesting thing right now.
Right.
And that's why it's like, I try to stay... Like, we sit here and we say and fuss time to time, like the podcast. You know, everybody fusses.
Of course. But,
like, my biggest thing is, like, this is the next transition for radio. Like, literally, once we get to know the numbers, like what actually is going on, it will become very lucrative. That's what I think. But it's the consistency game. It's the waiting game that we have to play, and also we have to play the mass game, so we have to reach a mass amount of people. So I think a certain amount of, because like YouTube, think about YouTube for a second. Like if you get a certain amount of subscriptions and you get a certain amount of likes, and you're not copyrighting no music, you get a check.
Right.
So with a podcast, say you only focus on YouTube, and that's where your whole network is. Then from there, you can at least gauge your number. But if you put on all the platforms, because I know people listen on the go, people listen here, people listen there, it's hard to gauge those numbers. So once they figure that out, that's where their money's going to start falling in. That's what I think.
The way we looked at it was like, yo, instead of having to gather, you're making these content creators gather all these numbers, which is fine. And then all right, so we have to get the 1 million subscribers first, and then we have to go to these ad agencies to possibly get revenue. I'm like, yo, why do I guess it's another thing. I'm very of the ilk of like an independent, like I respect people who try to do things like on their own, on some Dame Dash shit. Like I know sometimes his delivery is a little bit like off-putting to some people.
He said it correctly though. I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's like, yo, why I don't like having to ask people, hey, take us seriously. The biggest, your boss as creators, it's not even y'all, it's y'all fans.
Right.
They dictate what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if enough fans hit y'all up and bring up a topic, they don't want to hear about toes anymore on the podcast, Guess what y'all don't stop talking about?
You know what
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, and that works for any type of business. Like, customers at the end of the day are the real bosses. Like, they are they run shit, and
So,
you have to realize that.
I think people are gonna start following what Joe Budden is doing, and it makes sense.
Right.
So it's putting your podcast on, not necessarily the main podcast, but putting content on a platform where your fans have to pay a small fee monthly
100%. Yeah.
to get, you know what I'm saying? To get
so on a Patreon level,
so it's really you can see
Wait, so
who
wait. Are we talking about so let's say take the Apple podcast. So let's say if we had to pay, let's say $9.99 to have the app, are we also subscribing per?
Can't do it on that. It has to be on
I'm just saying, okay.
Say we make a website.
Yeah.
We make a website and you'd have to subscribe to the website.
So the
to
website described as $9.99. Now, does that give you access to all the podcasts on that website?
Yes.
Or do you have to subscribe to some individual?
No, that gives you access
You
to
get
more content.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, it's crazy you said that because Patreon is like ahead, like, or on top of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you don't need Patreon to do that shit. You can do that shit yourself.
Yeah,
all these like Venmo, Cash Apps, PayPal, all these, they're working together, and like you can do it with certain websites where you can make it to where like, it's a subscription based type of service that you are providing, and here's the link or extension to where your fans can plug in and see the video. But here's another thing though, and I had mentioned that prior. You brought up an interesting point. All right, we have our fans pay a certain amount per month and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you see where the money is. Where
right.
the money's coming
you see
from.
where the money's coming from. All right. What's stopping music artists from doing that? So here's why the record industry is very scared. Okay, because they rather throw a huge bag at a Drake or Beyonce. Because we don't want you to leave. I remember I thought I saw somewhere where they said if Drake went independent, the industry would crumble. So let me ask you a question.
Why?
I think about it this way. Let's say Drake, and who knows? I don't know his business. I don't pretend to know. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah.
But if Drake said to Universal, he said, "Yo, you know what? I'm done doing my deals. I'm on my own catalog." He probably has enough to pay for his masters. Maybe, and let's say he doesn't even get to own his own masters, right? What's stopping Drake from then saying, "All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take all of our music, all of our catalog. We're gonna make it something similar to Patreon, and pretty much
make it
for
exclusive.
my whole catalog, we'll make the Drake app.
Right.
And you go on my phone, and you pay me. Forget $9.99. You pay me $1.99 a month.
It's kind of like, isn't that kind of a little bit like what Jay-Z did with Tidal in the beginning a little bit? Because then he
similar to it, just because but he owned he was distributing a lot of like a music catalog in general. I'm just talking about your own personal catalog. So if you take your own personal catalog, and Drake says, how many fans would you say Drake has? Millions. Let's say 10 million.
Yeah, 76 million.
All right, so let's say 76 million, right? You get $1.99 per month from let's say half of that, right? 30 million. So for the Drake app, I pay $1.99, and I get, not only do I get all your music, so I get to listen to it whenever. Let's say you put a tier on it, you make it $3.99, you get free merch.
Or like you get access to his life.
Right, $5.99, you get first dibs at tickets.
You might be giving away free game though right now.
I said it before. People don't like listening. Like it just
But that, so I guess now I understand how that would. I guess now I hear what you're saying, how that would crumble the music industry. Because if Drake does that,
what's stopping Beyonce from doing it? What's stopping Gaga from doing it?
And it opens the floodgate, just like the whole thing with putting your whole podcast on the thing. Like,
and then guess what? Whoever the label employs to handle my marketing and my PR and my manufacturing, my distribution and my merch, I could hire myself.
But wait.
Nigga, I'm gonna need a phone with bigger storage.
This would only work for artists of that kind of stature.
100%. Well,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And go ahead, I'll let you.
Because basically, like if you have your core, right?
100%.
Like we have our core. We have our core 20, right? We have our core 20. Now, actually, I'm not gonna say the number of our core, but our core is a lot bigger than that. But we have our core. If they all pay $5.99 a month. We use that core right there, nigga. We should be able to that studio time, things like that. Like
but you won't be able to grow like that.
but you can make people want to look into you. Like, because we grew from the live podcast. We grew from the live brunch. Those things, like certain moments, will help us grow. And then we get those people over. They trickle over. All right, now we got more and more people.
Yeah, but that'll be so
Wait, hold on.
slow.
I agree and disagree.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like, think of Instagram a little bit, right? You ever seen like a fire post and you clicked on it, right? And it led you to that person's page, but that person's page was private and you had to click follow.
Right.
Do you actually click follow?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you don't, right? That's a big risk. If we're trying to gain as much exposure as much as possible, imagine someone who's never listened to us. We're basically telling him, hey,
no, but that's different. So I think it's because I'm comparing it. I'm doing music and podcast. Like, those are two different things.
Yeah.
Like, the way we were trying to see, like, if these platforms were smart, they would do what I suggested as far as handling distribution, because at the end of the day, it's just gonna take one artist to do it for everybody to follow suit.
But it would destroy up and coming artists. I think that's what they were
because
talking.
I don't believe that, because I think if you set up, listen, at the end of the day, if you get a good core following of 20,000 people, a good core following,
that takes
there's 300 million people in this country, just this country alone. We're not talking about London. We're not talking about like Japan. We're not talking about China. We're not talking about Australia. We're not talking about UK. We're just
some of
talking
those people
about,
don't have internet.
Preach. When we started this podcast, you said, "Yo, don't flood me with demos." Right? If I've never heard this artist before, 9 times out of 9, my first listen is not going to be a paid listen to that artist.
Of course not. No,
so they're gonna have to be
no.
away free game, or they're gonna have to do 7-day free trial, or So I was thinking something like the whole Drake thing. How Drake has OVO.
Well, Drake doesn't have to do it.
No, of course, but I'm saying OVO. So let's say again, this will be beneficial to Drake.
Right.
Put his artists on his, instead of just only being Drake music.
Well, then that's a bigger conversation though.
And
Like that's what I mean.
That's
like
when you expanding the.
That's when exactly. So like Drake. Right. You might say, all right, well, but my thing is, it's like you gotta get to the, because I just gotta get to the festival stage. If I'm an up and coming artist, like, just get me to the festival stage. Because I'm like, if an up and coming artist, like, these kids grow with these artists. Like Mac Miller fans loved Mac Miller. And if Mac Miller put out a bulletin saying, yo, I'm leaving this label and putting out my own joint, and I just need you to pay 99 cents per month. That's what we're saying. I'm not saying you have to pay the top tier. But if for 99 cents a month, you get my whole catalog, you get to play whenever you want. And you know what? Just to kind of, I might throw you a free shirt or free merch or whatever. That's it.
That's kind of like what OnlyFans is. Because a lot of artists did, because when people think OnlyFans has gained a bad reputation, because when people think of OnlyFans, the first thing they come to mind is sex.
Right, exactly.
But there's people out there that do like comedy skits,
Cardi B.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you paying us a subscription, so it's kind of like what you're talking about.
Right.
You're paying $5.99, and all they're doing is giving you a peek into their life.
Right.
So I get.
But there's a certain point when the creators are going to start getting annoyed with, like we mentioned earlier, like these like you're manipulating the algorithm to, like we always got to keep changing it to appease you, bro. And it got to the point where it's like, all right, maybe I don't need Instagram, and it's just like I build my own app now, because that's the new thing. Like these kids aren't coming up going straight to college anymore. Like they're like, if I can learn how to code out of high school, and I could just lend my service out to all these people to make my own app. Why wouldn't I do that?
They're going against the grain, and that's smart too.
So, like I said, so the freaking frack thing was pretty much that. They basically said we couldn't do it anymore. But like we get along well. We rock with one another. They're really working hard. Like I fucks with them heavy.
Like Brubman, I don't know Brubman personally, but I was put on to him way before. Not I wouldn't say way before he became Brubman, but of course, but like probably years ago.
Right.
And I remember just stumbling across. I don't go around following everybody, but I have no problem following people. And I remember I forgot what video he did. This nigga's just a funny nigga.
Yeah,
funny
Brubman, Loon too. Like they like them apart, they're funny, but them together, they're a team. Yeah. Like they're funny together. Like we did a quick thing called Bench Reactions, which I should do with y'all as well, where we like ranked. Like I think it was the worst dressed draft picks of the NBA, and their chemistry is just hilarious. Like
you better off doing the NFL with them though.
Oh, with them, yeah. But they just have good chemistry. So, and they're working. Like, you know, I put my input in, and that goes with any like podcast we've worked with. Like, I try not to get in anybody's way, but I also try to give in my input. And sometimes it's worked, and sometimes it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's fine. You know what I'm saying? So, but those are my guys, man, and we got a lot in store, and we're just working. That's it. I hate you saying that though.
And 2015, by the way.
2015 what?
Draft class was the worst.
Oh, yeah. We don't need to.
Tell me about sports.
That's the Ben McLemore draft class.
I said 2015, nigga. We moving on from this. But no, so that's pretty dope. Like I said, shout outs to them.
And we were like it's, you know, people hit us like, oh, when are you gonna work with us? What's up with that? When we get to, and it's like, I don't know if it necessarily works like that. Like, I'll be honest with you, like sometimes it's just timing and it just makes sense. And I took a risk. Like, we could have fall flat in our face and people could have been like, yo, fuck y'all. Y'all stupid. What the fuck were y'all thinking? We took the risk and we tried it out. I still think we're in the right, but you know, we maneuvered and we pivoted and we're still releasing episodes, but it just is what it is.
So last pod we talked about, because this is basically the anniversary of coronavirus when shit went to lockdown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you being as a business, venture, you got your hands on a lot of stuff. How did that impact you? Cause I feel like a lot of people found themselves during that time period and had to reinvent themselves.
Listen, we got hit just like first of all, we're not essential. We're not an essential business. Mm-hmm. What's today? Today's the 9th.
Yeah.
God bless the dead to Biggie. But
not supposed to say today. This is actually,
my bad.
This is backtrack.
So
cool.
you could go back.
It's cool. It's cool.
We're just blaming on Hennessy, but he had Hennessy. That's it. No, go ahead.
No, we got hit hard, man. We had to shut down. We had to shut our doors. March 13 was the day.
Oh, so you guys were forced to shut down?
Yeah, the whole building. This whole building was shut down. Like, we couldn't really do any bookings. Like, we felt that like everybody, like, yo, we were Zooming, like, overly booked. We were like crazy. You know
what's funny about that whole situation with Cash Sound, because it was so bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad for y'all, but it was bad for us because niggas were so booked so much. Yeah. We had to go to another studio, and that caused us to like leave because season 3 we wasn't here. We was at We Say What They Can because they had more availability. But I was like, yo, like y'all was killing. Like
we was, man. We were.
And y'all had that video thing with the 3 cameras.
We still got that, but like, and it was like an abrupt stop. Like, it was like over, and just like any business, we lost. Listen, we had a deal with a liquor company we was working on. But we kind of like, I hit them up this week, and they're still interested, so which is cool. But we were supposed to be doing all these events and all this shit, and then everything just stopped. And it was bad for business, obviously, but I kind of felt like I needed it as well because
same thing I was saying.
Like we were moving like pretty fast. Like I was kind of bugging out. Like I needed to chill. I needed to chill out. Like we got to a point where when we were producing live shows, that's when I was like bugging with money. Like I was spending this and trying to like we did a Combat Jack one, which was unsuccessful. But it was like politics with that. We did the Horrible Decisions one, which sold out, but it didn't generate what we thought it was in terms of like, because there were all these other expenses. And mind you, like we didn't really like, this is just a new medium. Like, you know, we look at TV. TV is how many years old? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Podcasting is like a little bit over 10 years old. Yeah. Imagine like it's we're still learning this business. So, you know, we were producing that live show. We did another live show. Oh, we did Mouse's live show, Hey Man Womanators Club. We did that one at SOB's where I was bugging. Like I drank way too much. Like
you drinking that all live show too.
Oh yeah, I drank it all live show.
He wasn't bugging though.
No, I wasn't bugging, but
he was chilling. He was talking to the bartender a lot. I can say that on air.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, I forgot about. Yeah. But I needed to, and then like I had bought a pizzeria, and that was like ridiculous. Like
that was last year.
That was last year. Oh, no, that was 2019. I had bought it.
So I'm thinking. So backtracking to people who don't know what we're talking about. So off air, we were talking to Preach, and I've known this guy. Well, worked with him
Right.
for 4 years.
We know each other now.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
So this season 4, I made it my business. Like, yo, I'm
get
tired
him
of being a first name basis, just preach this. So I make it my business. Every time I come here, I say a joke, try to get him to laugh.
Right.
And now, what episode is this?
I don't know the number.
67.
67.
Right.
Season 4. Preach knows my first name.
Yo, man.
No, I want to say he knows my first. I hope. I don't know. But we're not going to do the test.
Let's-
No. I'm not going to embarrass me on my own podcast.
This is episode 70.
And he was diving in, telling us about. I didn't know. So when you hear people do business adventures, right? I'm thinking clothing, music, and not trying to say I'm keeping boxed in.
That was another. Native 90 was another thing. Yeah, man.
And when he said pizza,
Yeah, man.
that shit hit me for.
That was the dumbest shit I ever done in my fucking life. That was
crazy,
so stupid,
yo.
man. For real, like that.
But the reason why I like it, because who's thinking like that? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Granted, even hearing your experience from, if I had the opportunity, I would dive into that because,
like it was.
I get what you're
If you got
saying.
time to do it, like that's time.
Yeah, I got pulled for. So like, when we were, it's crazy. Like, imagine being extremely busy here and getting a lot of bookings, and then you're not here to really, manage it like you want it, like you want to.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where it was like that. The pizzeria was like causing me stress, and I was drinking a lot, and I was like, I don't know what depression was, but I felt like I was in a really dark place, and there was no way. If I had still owned it now, we would have survived. There's no way. Like,
You would not survive?
We would not have survived
You
the
wouldn't
pandemic. There's no, because the store itself was depending on the schools. Like we did huge with schools.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
So like we would get 60 pie orders or
Word.
80 pie orders or 50. Schools have been closed so there's no way we would have been able to survive this.
Like,
at all.
yo, I heard you haven't called in a minute.
Like,
Checking up on you. Like, I need
word.
those spots. Like, all right.
There's no way we would have survived. So, and then with the studio, it took a hit. So like, I'm not, but I don't sit back and look at it like I'm a fucking idiot. I just look at it.
That's the experience.
You know how many L's we've taken, bro? I've taken plenty
You gotta
of
take
L's.
a couple of L's to get it. Because when you take those L's,
This is a cornball, son. This is so corny, son.
when you put
I gotta
those,
start doing that. I gotta start
you
doing
put
that.
them
I don't
L's
know if
together, they
it's
stack
gonna
up to a W.
I don't know if it's
right?
gonna work, but
Yo, Preach, let me ask you something, right? This is
Yeah.
not even on the docket, right? I just
Yeah.
heard you say something that was interesting. So do you give into your vices a lot when you're frustrated or like what up?
when I'm frustrated, like that's a good question. I don't know if I ever more of the frustration I have is like with clients who like they might leave the place a mess or like they have a certain attitude like because they think they're like hot shit or like I don't really get frustrated with this. I mean,
I think I've only seen you annoyed. I've never seen you mad. I think I've seen you annoyed once, and this is at the old place.
Have I?
Yeah,
like,
Shorty came in with her DJ set.
Who's this?
Oh, I don't know her.
I think
her
was
name.
it Sophie the Body in them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it was Sophie the Body.
I just remember you was
Yo, you was-
heated.
Yo, you was tight.
Yeah, I remember.
Bro,
You
yo,
was
let me
tight.
tell you, yo, the story.
Yo, you was tight.
What was the
that
name? The
son.
day off. Oh, the day off radio show.
Yeah, you was tight,
Bro.
yo.
I remember you was here.
Oh no, yeah, you know what? There have been like
They just started
because
to tap in.
there's just certain people like there's just certain clients that come in and they have like it's like yo, you're doing way too much.
Yeah.
And I'll tell y'all a story about that. So it was shout out to them. I don't even know whatever happened to them, but matter of fact, they're the reason why we moved into this building. But
What?
yeah, and I'll tell you why. So we were at our second space.
Yeah.
Was at Williamsburg. I think
Yeah.
you remember that.
Yeah.
Grand
Yeah, hell yeah,
Grand
yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that area just because like it was very right next to the city, but still Brooklyn. It was nice or whatever.
Yeah.
So they used to record. They used to do a live show every Saturday morning at like 9. Now, mind you, I know we say we 24/7, but don't think I don't look at the time when y'all book early and I'm like, bro, you sure about this? So anyway, they would bring mad heads to the fucking studio. So I'm not talking about like 3 or 4 people. I'm talking about like 10 to 20.
And that studio was not that big to be having.
And that studio was not that big.
Yeah.
Mind you, too, we were the only black company in that building. So
Word?
we got to look like, what are y'all
I
up to?
remember like, you were saying that
Yeah, I
too.
remember. And then,
On the regular.
and I remember you started to put that new policy in and shit like that. Yeah.
Because they barbecued
Oh yeah, I remember that shit.
in the hallway.
I remember that.
They didn't barbecue though.
They didn't. They had the electric grill or something.
They did?
Yeah, and they were cooking in the hallway.
Was it part of their show? The niggas were just hungry.
No, because they were like, "Oh, we're a breakfast show, so we're gonna give these guys breakfast while they're doing the show and shit." And I'm like,
That's OD though.
and I'm like, wait, what?
That's OD though.
And then you got to remember, so they would come with 10 people, but then they would. And now listen, I get y'all want to have rap artists as guests, and that's cool. They have got to probably be the worst guests in the world.
The guest that was on?
No, just rap artists in general.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong, sometimes they're cool. They come with themselves and their manager, whatever.
Yeah.
But with them, they were bringing like the artist and 10 people from his entourage.
Damn.
And that was for just a 30-minute interview. And then there was another interview after, another 10 people. And I remember getting a call that Monday, like, yo, y'all were cooking in the hallway. I was like, what are you talking about? It was like,
Yeah, that shit gotta be crazy.
they was like, yo, they were cooking in the hallway. Like that, obviously, I don't know if I have to tell you this, but we can't be cooking in the hallway.
You put up a sign though that said that shit.
Yeah,
I remember. I think I made a joke. I
We
was
had
like,
I had a long conversation with that crew because we were like, I have no problem telling somebody, yo, you could record elsewhere because
Yeah.
it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think they knew they wouldn't be able to get away with it anywhere else. But and they also they were actually getting like legit guests too. Like they were getting Love and Hip Hop guests.
Oh, that's fire.
They were getting NFL guests. Like they were really getting like legit guests. So I'm like, all right, I get it, whatever. But I was like, no more of the food. Like this is ridiculous. Like, yeah, oh my god, yeah, that was that. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, they've been frustrating when this building is a lot more liberal. Because when we started Industry City. Industry City was just a warehouse when we first got there, and then a couple years afterwards, they started building. Like they got cut a deal with Adidas. They cut a deal with the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, sure.
So it was getting a little bit more.
Yeah.
It was getting a little bit more prestigious over there. So low key, no lie, they after a certain shooting had happened, they came to us and it was like, yo, we just don't want your kind here anymore.
Damn.
So much so, like they were like, yo, we'll pay you to move, which they did. They paid me to move. They paid for my moving expenses. So yeah,
That's how he's able to move so fast. I was wondering how you got out here so fast.
Yeah.
like every day, they would, like when we would record, they would hit us up.
Yeah.
Next day, hit me up with a new address.
Yeah.
What the hell we doing here?
Yeah, because so fuck Industry City. I always say that to the deaf because like that was just straight because we was there when nobody fucked with them.
Would you say it's more fuck Industry City because the situation? So you, like,
I see what you're saying. No, because
or it was other person.
we had nothing to do with that. Like that wasn't anything. Like I actually wasn't even there. Like,
I know.
but nah, like we had nothing to do with there. Mind you, like I think the strip club Jaguars wasn't far from that area either.
I'm not even sure. All I can really remember is like when that happened, and then like a week later we had to record, and then you was like, "Yo, y'all can't wait in the hallway."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, it was freezing outside." I was like, "Oh yeah, this nigga preaches."
Yeah, because and I don't do that because I want to do that. I do that because the building's like, yo, y'all gotta be. And like I said, it's tough. Like when you're, and I don't like to use this as a crux, but it's a reality. Like when you're a black-owned business, we get certain stigmas like, yo, what are y'all doing here? Like, oh, you doing the rapidy rap? What's going on? Like, and it's a very unique business. It's not, it's not anything you can categorize. So. It was what it was, but fuck Industry City. Nah, low key, like
high key, nigga. You said this shit like 3 times.
Nah,
So how long you been here?
We've been here about I think it's 2 years now, but we're actually opening up a studio in the city now. So
So you building a
So you
chain.
moving this one?
no, this one's staying.
Oh,
We're
I'm about
doing-
to say, yeah, travel to.
I'm not gonna lie, we got some
Yo,
Nah, this one. So this one.
selfish just now. That's a fuck, son.
Nah, this one's staying.
So basically, you creating a chain. You
Nah,
branching out.
I don't know about a chain,
I'm about
but
to take over Harlem now.
nah,
You
I don't
got
know.
Brooklyn.
I live in Atlanta now. Listen, we need one of you in Atlanta.
Atlanta. I actually made a trip to Atlanta to see what that was about.
Because I'm telling you right now, granted, because when
Atlanta's
they came,
hot, but Atlanta's on some other shit right now, though.
they are.
They are.
But,
some other shit.
but your services would be greatly needed because I could tell you right now, because when they came down to visit me, we was gonna record just one session, Atlanta. Their prices out there,
they raping people out there,
and you would have thought that they mastering your shit, doing a whole bunch. I don't know much about the whole music, like how they do, but I know for 300 in that fine print ain't no
right. Dang, 300.
Yeah,
nigga, preacher's like I could go blue.
Nah, you know what the, and I don't know if son, that's crazy because I see like us going to the city, it does a couple things. Like our prices aren't going to change by much, which is needed in the city. So because the city prices are like astronomical.
So your prices gonna change here or no?
No, we might actually lower here because we're trying to do more of a self-serve type of situation. So
man,
like what we did, like if I could engineer from my phone.
Yeah, what you be doing?
Yeah, so like we might just make that the mainstay here and then concentrate more on the city. But like to be honest with you, like I've seen the other studios that have like opened up or like we have competition now, which is cool.
It's not a lot though.
But it's not a lot, but they cost a lot.
So that's the one thing I was gonna say, like in the sense of. So if the grants, obviously, you probably don't have to have me tell you, but the city would be very lucrative because, like you said, you're getting people from Harlem.
Right. We're right by Wall Street. So, yeah, it's perfect.
And then you have the white people that be like, oh, what's
you know what I mean? So,
right. But, like, there ain't definitely no barbecuing in that whole motherfucking hallway. Let's be clear. Like
just getting off topic, I love seeing random signs because if someone had to. Yeah. I remember walking in and
seeing that. There's a clause for that specific sign. Like, I know what you mean. Like,
I remember seeing that. I remember saying, "What niggas barbecuing this bitch?"
I'll never forget that call. I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" But but moving to the city, we're excited about it. We're almost done, and I want to get that over with. And,
so that's a definite. That's
we already signed. We signed the lease in December. So yeah, we're just.
So quarantine's been treating you well.
No, I mean I don't spend money like I don't. I'm not that. I remember I've gotten joked on like, oh, yo, preach. I was like, I like my savings and.
So I was gonna ask this. So because I remember. So this is something I remember I mentioned probably weeks back.
Right.
You're a hardworking man. Every time I see you move. Like if you have an Apple Watch, I guarantee your steps are astronomical, nigga. Like,
no, I've actually been a little lazy lately because I got to Warzone. So.
I'm trying to.
You something pop your collar, okay?
I'm trying to tell you fix his shirt, but all right, cool.
Anyways, right? But shit. What I was gonna say. All right. So, what is your definition? Since you've been doing this for about 10 years in the business like that, so how do you know, or how do you like? What's your stress reliever? Like, what do you?
Oh, like I just mentioned, like I've never been a type of gamer. I usually play Madden or 2K. But it's crazy. Another podcast. They had mentioned Warzone, and I'd never played Call of Duty like that. I used to suck at it. Now I can't get enough.
So
I'm into that shit now. Like I play Warzone way too much now. It's a problem. I'm really into that shit.
So what about like vacations wise? Are you a vacation type of guy?
I don't really I've like this past year I finally went on a vacation. Before that, I've probably been like 3 years before I went. I don't really go.
Treat yourself. You work hard.
I don't really go on vacation like that. It's weird. I just don't.
You drink a lot?
That's good.
Probably, when I had, like I said, when I had the pizzeria, I did. But I drank a lot at that live show, that Mouse live show. Like I remember by the end of the night, I bought a Moet bottle that was like I should not have bought, like the big one.
Oh, word?
And I went on stage with it bugging. I was so stupid that day. Oh my god!
You got videos of that?
I don't know.
That could be the cover art for the podcast.
No, I don't know. But that was like I drink. I like drinking, but I'm not a.
That's why I asked about the vices. Because I know you work so much. I know sometimes you working so much, you just want to release stress, and then it becomes a habit. So
I mean,
before we get out of here, you got 2 kids. You got 2 boys, right?
Yeah.
You got 2 boys?
Yeah, 1 8, 1 2. Yeah.
Thank you. Again, what's the age?
8 and 2.
8 and 2.
Yeah, man.
That's a good year.
Boy, they are like wrecking balls, but yeah, I love them, man.
You see any resemblance and stuff that you?
My 8-year-old is like me in terms of like create. Like he likes to draw. I used to like to draw. But I think like my youngest one is like more of the athlete. Like, and I used to play ball, but. Yeah, they're like a split, like, you know.
You was nice and ball?
I was nice.
But you play
I was basketball. I was better at football, but I played basketball a lot more. Yeah. But I played more park leagues than high school.
Okay.
So, shout out Ajax. Shout out Lincoln Park.
Oh. I got a question.
Sure.
So, Train put me onto a podcast. What's the name of it? I always forget the name. The Chad Ochocinco podcast.
I'm athlete. Yeah.
I am athlete.
Beast.
Yeah,
of a
those are
show.
dope. Those are dope. Yeah. I watched that.
Beast of a show.
I love
Wait,
it.
before you dive into it, so just to not to shine shit on him, that podcast itself, in a sense, it's good. You
It's
can
a
tell
cheat
how
code, though. It's a cheat
So
code.
why?
because they're using their star stats.
Yeah,
If-
they were at.
if they were nobody, so if you listen to how they pod, it's not good. Like sometimes they'll talk over each other. It's like it was like us in our roles form, and see how we're still learning.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But it's a fact. This is what makes their pod so good, though. This is why you like it. One, you can relate to them because you played sports and you hear stuff they told, and they told my stuff behind the curtains that you may not ever heard.
That you would think that that's how conversations would go behind the scenes.
Like
right?
when Reggie Wayne was on the show before Ocho was there, he was talking about how him and Payne got into it.
Right.
We would have never known that if he never told us.
Right.
Or we would have never known Fred was like the dude. Like Fred is like the fucking big
Right.
Meech of Florida, apparently.
Like the Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles podcast. Whatever they call them.
The Knuckleheads.
They're not necessarily a good, like vocal wise, they're not necessarily a good podcast, but it's two former NBA players talking about the experience. Like,
And you can see them growing. That's what I like about it. You
Yeah.
can see from season 1 to where they're at now.
right,
First off, they need to keep Chad.
Yeah,
Reggie
oh,
Wayne,
without a doubt, 100%.
Reggie wasn't really working out like that.
right. Oh wait, which Reggie?
Before was Reggie Wayne.
Oh,
Before Chad.
okay.
So that's what I'm saying. The podcast wasn't as good when Reggie was there.
It was still. I know.
It was
My bad. Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. Not even close to where it's at right now.
True.
And even though Reggie Wayne is a NFL superstar and his personality isn't as loud as
Brandon Marshall
Right.
and them. They
Brandon
did
Marshall always had a personality,
Yeah.
and Ocho Cinco obviously.
Exactly.
Those are the two that make the podcast what it is.
Exactly.
But, no,
and Chef Nancy.
Not even Chad. I was gonna say
yeah.
also the other dude. I'm not gonna lie to
Shannon Crowder.
Shannon Crowder. He low key
right.
makes the show too. Like Fred is just a chill guy.
Yeah,
He dropped
he the
knowledge on
OG.
the
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
But Shannon Crowder, in a sense, you don't realize it, but he's the one that says the
outlandish
he does,
shit.
yeah, he
Because
does.
Chad, you might hear probably because you could tell that Chad knows within
Right.
himself he could take over that pot.
Right,
You know what I mean? But you could tell he lays back and waits for.
his moments.
No,
Yeah.
he's good. No, Chad, but he was born for this. Like,
Yeah.
he's a person. Like Chad Ochocinco is a personality.
Like they struck gold. getting him on
Podcasting
the-
is built for him. Like it's cheap, it's easy. Like, and if you do it the right way, you can make great content. So yeah, like, but it's also still, in my opinion, it's
Chico, they put it a masterpiece.
I can call Cam Newton to come on the show. I can call like
They had.
I can call Reggie Bush. I could call Mike Vick. I can call these guys.
And that's what I'm saying. And they did it right because they didn't just say get anybody.
No, they got Michael
Vick, and they got Michael Vick talking about, you know,
right,
the shit.
100%.
And then, no, not for like Pitbull. They got him talking about how he was just like, "Yo, I thought I wasn't gonna play." When you talking about I wasn't gonna play, and I'm out there and I realized, and it's something
Threw me in there.
threw me in there. He basically threw his head coaches under the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that shit. That's what's so interesting.
That's a dope. I love that. I actually just got into that podcast.
Wait,
No,
so
I'm not-
are you saying that if you have some kind of star power, like power,
Yes.
your podcast is going to be successful?
Imagine if we
Let
could
me
get
ask you a
Drake
question.
here.
DJ Khaled has a podcast.
Let me ask you a question. Wow, that's
That's my guy.
I like DJ. But let me ask you a question.
So if
Okay.
DJ Khaled heard
What-
that statement,
what
you
are
don't think that's his guy?
No,
But what's the numbers he's doing though?
it's not that good.
Like that's my thing. Like
It's not that good.
if Beyonce did a podcast once a month,
Oh yeah, it will bang out.
it does 2 million listens.
Yeah, absolutely,
easy.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
easy. I also don't. I do see your point, and I think that goes to you can't trick the masses. Like we
Yeah.
know when you're genuine. Like that.
Right.
The Khaled shit just looks like a check.
It is.
It's just a check. Like you tell.
I
it's
watched
like-
one episode. It wasn't.
You watched one episode, me too.
No offense to Khaled. I
Wasn't too good.
I
I
can't
haven't
see
seen it. I
him
haven't-
asking
Don't watch
intuitive
it.
questions like that to make me be like, damn, I never learned that. Like the one I actually like is the Fat Joe one. Because and I don't even know if it's called a podcast, but like Fat Joe shit is ill because he talks about shit that like he'll talk about rumors, he'll talk about the van, he'll talk about the tunnel, he'll talk about like shit that we've always thought were rumors. He'll bring it up like, no, that shit was you about to get dragged.
See, I like shit like that.
But you can tell when somebody's really doing it to do it, or they're doing it for a check.
Yeah,
you can tell Cal's doing it for a check.
Absolutely.
But not saying like.
I think T.I. was doing it for. Although T.I. can articulate himself real well, I think T.I. was doing it for a check too.
Of course, I think. Yeah. But you know, it's funny to me because a lot of these people used to shit on podcasts. Right. A lot of people in the radio business, whether it be Ebro, whether it be Flex, whether they were all shitting on podcasts.
Charlemagne, and now he has
like you know what I'm saying. Like now we got to do our own network. Like whoa, I thought you didn't get the whole podcasting game. Not yeah, like it's amazing. Like I used to hear it firsthand. Like who the fuck? Oh, I used to get told, yo, you just a room with mics, bro. And I'm like, but you didn't think about it. Yeah. Where's your room with mics?
Yeah.
So where is your thing coming? And then
is that a curve?
And then you know one thing I noticed, like once they see what the business is, they're like, yo, this shit is kind of crazy.
Lucrative, yeah.
Not even just lucrative, just like, oh, this takes some shit. Like you gotta know your shit.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like because doing podcasting, I feel like even watching Iron Man, I think it's a great sense of relief. You know what I mean? Cause you get to talk.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
it's
sure
therapeutic for a lot of shows.
Therapeutic.
I think there's certain clients that come in here. They don't do it for numbers. They do it because I get to they hang out with their friends. Like they get to chill with their friends and drink and shit. Like I really feel like some of it. And then you have the podcasts out there. I'm not gonna name them, but they're like 50-year-olds cats who listen to old school hip hop.
And talk shit.
And why don't they make music like this? I loved it when they made the boom bap and shit like that type of dumb shit or whatever. Like,
but the reason that I brought up that podcast is because I see that a lot is going on with the being vulnerable as a man. Because it was shunned on as growing up, us black men in the community. Don't open up, don't do none of that.
Right.
You have 2 boys.
Right.
So how?
Wait, I already know you're gonna ask him. So just how open would you say you are as a man?
I think I'm pretty open to a certain degree. Listen, I'm Haitian, like, so you know how it is. Like we don't. But I also didn't have I didn't have my dad around, so it's not like I really got based off of a certain image. Like, but ideally, just a black man. New York, y'all know it. Like when y'all with y'all boys, like if you admit certain things in the subway, y'all go when y'all on the way to high school or the way to like class or whatever, you get you the joke of the day. Like
that's what he did.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying, you become a thing. As we've gotten older, I think through the media, we've started to realize like, yo, we can talk about mental health or talk and be vulnerable and not necessarily feel a way about it. And I also think like, we've stopped worrying about, I hope, but I think like we've stopped worrying about what other people think all the time. Like we've realized like, yo, my G, like
it doesn't matter.
One thing people got to realize about IG is just the highlights. So when I watch SportsCenter, I see the highlights, but you don't even see the game. Yeah. You ain't see the free throws. You ain't see the fouls. You ain't see the fucking struggle to get to the win.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of people are doing now is like they live by IG and thinking that like that's it. Like, oh, she took a picture next to a Lambo. Yo, she must be eating. She must be good. Not knowing like she was walking past it, told the homegirl, take a quick pic. And let's get it going.
Nah, that's a fact.
I think I'm pretty open. Like
are you gonna teach your sons to be that way?
It's weird because like I would love to, but I'm also at that person where it's like I don't like my son cries a lot, so it's hard for me to be
the 8 or 1-year-old.
Both of them, like but one is the 2-year-old. Like he cries, but it's like toddler tears. Mm-hmm. The oldest one, he doesn't cry as much, but he does a lot of the whining. But it's like I don't want to be that guy. Like yo, toughen up, and this is what happens, but. Also be like, yo, you could cry at everything, like you gotta learn adversity.
You want to find that balance.
Like there's gotta be. I can understand why you're shedding a tear right now, but you also gotta learn how to like, eat shit.
Cause I remember, actually this happened yesterday. I was with Callie, I'm the producer, the person that told me how to produce whatever. Right. I'm with him, and he got the kids with him, and then one kid hits the other kid with his face with a stick because they're outside in the back, and then everybody just stops. And I said, "Don't say nothing to him.
Nah,
don't say nothing. Just let him react. Just let him react, and whatever happens, happens."
Yeah.
And then he's just sitting there holding his face, just waiting for somebody to like baby him. And when he realized it, he's like, "All right, cool. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's whatever."
It's
like,
usually the mommy that runs, "Oh my god!" And then they start crying, and it's like, that's a great question. I look at parenting weird because I try to do everything that my father wasn't. Like he wasn't there. The only thing he bought me was a Columbia jacket, which I'm dating myself right now. But he bought me like a dope Columbia jacket, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I don't know what that is.
You don't even know what? Wow, that's damn. I'm fucking old.
Columbia was out with Nautica and stuff.
I go as far as back as the 8-ball jacket. That's
no. Columbia's was after.
But Columbia was like not really like
I want to say
super high maintenance, but it was cool. It was a cool jacket.
You had to have it if you wanted to be like you. Yeah, you couldn't come with. You had to have it. You needed and it depended which Columbia jacket you had. But back to the kids, like I don't. That's a really great question. I try to balance it out, but as a parent, you kind of catch yourself. Like sometimes, like I try not to bring my stresses home, and sometimes I just do. And sometimes they might say something, and it just triggers something real quick, and I got to catch myself. Other times, like I try to toughen them up and realize, like I try to give them chores and do all the things that I did when I was young and learn like. Yo, you got to do this because it just I know it sucks. It's not playing. You're not playing the Switch. It just sucks. But you got to learn how to earn stripes and shit. Like this is responsibility. So
would you force your kid to play sports?
I wouldn't say force him, but try it out. Like we tried to do soccer with him.
Ask them to.
Nah, bro. Like. I just wasn't like he's a spacey kid. Like he's playing goalie, but he's looking up at the stars. So I just know not a rip to him. Like, but that's the thing. Like we have these parents that try to put them in, like try to force them in these things, and it's like
basically you got to know your personality.
Yeah, I know him. Like, and I wasn't into sports until 10 or 11. Yeah, it might. A switch might go off. Like, oh shit! Like I want to play ball.
Well, when were you into soccer?
I was never into soccer.
Yeah, so 9 times out of 10,
I was never into soccer.
He probably not gonna be.
I remember I played soccer one time and I really enjoyed it. And I never played it again.
You really?
I played it and I was dope at it. I was like, this must be some Haitian shit because I know what I'm doing. But then I was just like, all right, I'm not doing it. I want to play ball.
But it's also an aspect of kids. Like I understand the aspect. Again, I don't have kids, but I actually coach a soccer team. You could tell. You coach, so you could tell when certain kids have that it factor because.
Yeah,
he could never have to play sports day, and it's like, but as soon as you go on the field, it's that hunger, it's that I want the ball type of thing. You know what I mean? Some kids just may not have it. Doesn't mean he's not good at sports. Just soccer may not be his thing.
Doesn't make him a bad person. Like, that's just not his thing. Like,
so what I said is he also said the same thing. My kid has to play football.
He has to play football.
Yeah,
up until at least
what age are you starting him?
Like around 8.
Okay.
I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't say
9.
8 because Pop Warner, like Pee Wee, I should say. I probably started him out. Cause I started 13. I started late, so I probably started him out maybe 11, 12.
That's it, man. That's such a unique point of view because, like, I do see the benefits of football without a doubt. I played football. I played not Pee Wee. I played whatever the level above that. Yeah, and you learn camaraderie.
Yes.
You learn.
Yes.
Like attention, you learn because if you're not paying it, you're gonna get your head knocked the fuck off.
And it toughens you up a little bit.
It does, like but like
physically and mentally.
But on this flip side, I also don't want to put my kid in something he doesn't want to be in.
Oh, see, no. So I thought you were gonna say something else, like harm. Put him in harm. I'm okay with the nigga hating me. Not a strong way, but I'm saying I'm okay with my son. Say if I force him to play sports and he does not want to,
right? I'm
okay with him low key resenting me as long as he gains. Granted, again, this is coming from I don't have kids.
Right.
I'm okay as long as he gains what I need him to gain.
What if he's not good though? Like, what if he's like really bad?
Again, some kids are bad at sports.
So you mean to tell me you're gonna? This is for me. Like, you're gonna do all that, and your kid is ass, and you're gonna sit there and be like, "Yo, he doesn't want to do it, and he knows he's bad. He's like, yo, I've tried this. I don't like it. I don't want to do this shit. I'm horrible. They're
So, it's
kicking
right
my
here.
ass. And you're going to be like, yo, go out there and play your heart out and do whatever it takes because, we don't quit. All right, the season's over. I'm done. Oh, no, nigga. You got to keep going.
It's not even
Bro,
that.
if they're
So,
kicking
hold
your
on,
ass,
hold on.
you're a pussy.
So-
I need you to man up as a young boy and bust this nigga's ass.
So not even as a young boy.
Life is gonna kick your ass.
So not even as a boy, I go as far as my daughter. My daughter's definitely gonna run track. I see how hopefully she gets my daughter. I said my daughter, my fiance's
Right.
gene pool
That's
doing
good.
track. Like,
But she has no athletic bone in her body. If you
they actually are athletic. The problem with them, the problem with my fiance's side of the family, they're bowlers.
But let me ask you a question because you said something interesting. Can he not learn that in another field? Like it has to be football.
As far as what?
So now,
Just-
I can answer for me. For myself, unfortunately, me growing up, I was not exposed to a lot of different things. The things I was experienced to, like I was exposed to drawing. So I'm gonna teach my son how to draw or how to encourage his creative side.
Right.
Sports, but let's say he would like to play the piano. Unfortunately, I know nothing about piano. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna enroll him in the piano.
Right.
But unfortunately, you can't really get too much knowledge from pianoing from me. You know what I mean?
Right.
The reason why I'm going towards football, I just know that with football, I know what you can get from it. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just like, because it's crazy you say, because I think about, listen, I'm glad I have two boys. Not saying I didn't want to, if I had a girl, then it is what it is, but I'm glad I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, we know.
But it's crazy you say that because like I'm heavy into sports. I was heavy into playing sports. When I have Mason's the oldest one, when I try to have Mason watch a game with me, he's not into it.
So
But see, but that's
Jackson,
I was not into.
Jackson, my other son, is like, he'll watch it for a little bit and then, but I could tell with him, he's a wrecking ball. Like he likes doing flips. He likes banging into shit. Yeah, he likes smacking the older one. Like that's just his thing.
So that's what I was trying to say. The reason why I wouldn't have my son or daughter quit the sport, like say if I'm forcing my daughter to do track,
Right.
and I'm using force as purposely,
Right.
it's because, how do I put it? It takes a special type of person to get up every day
100%.
to tell yourself, like, so football wise,
To do something you don't feel like doing.
point exactly.
Right. No,
guess
you're
what?
right.
When you get a job, because let's say if you're not fortunate enough to be one of those people that becomes their own boss, that means you're gonna have a 9 to 5.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It takes a special type of person to get up every day. Like, say how you guys say you're tired and I'm thinking about calling out.
Right.
You guys going to do that so many times. You guys can't do that the day after
But
that.
how about? But instead of doing that, how about we encourage them to get into a field that they actually? It doesn't feel like a 9 to 5. Meaning, like you don't necessarily have to be a boss to work at a place that you enjoy waking up to.
Oh, I get that.
You know, and I totally see what you're saying, but I think like especially now, the internet is the biggest equalizer, right? So I agree with you to a certain extent. I just feel like right now, the way I'm trying to raise my kids is like I want them to figure out what they love first, and then okay, this is what you love, and you think about it every day, and that's what you want to do. All right, find out what career feeds that, and get into that, as opposed to because we were taught either be a doctor, engineer, or lawyer. That was it. That's what we were taught. Or teacher, like whatever. But
so you said that he doesn't watch football, right?
No.
I don't watch ballet.
Right.
I've never done ballet before.
Right.
I don't watch people on ESPN play pool or poker.
Me neither.
because
I'm not into it. Right.
I'm not into it, and I've never done it before either.
Right.
When bowling comes on ESPN, I leave it there, and I'm kind of impressed because I like bowling, and I see how good they are and how trash I am. Right.
Okay.
So I said that because maybe if he starts playing, that will make him enjoy watching, because it's something that he did that he's doing,
Right.
and now he gets to see professionals do it, and then it's like, wow, like I'm doing this, they're doing it, it's on TV.
Right.
Now it's something that he can relate to, but just out the gate, watching football can be a little
overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
Could be a
it's
little, like,
because I've always, one thing I've appreciated is like, you ever watch somebody that's really good at something? Like a chef. You ever seen a chef who's like a Gordon Ramsay? I could watch Gordon Ramsay videos.
I can watch,
all day. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can listen to.
I'm just, but that took that same type of discipline that took Tom Brady to learn how to learn how to throw an out route,
Right.
or to throw a seam route, was the
Right.
same discipline Gordon Ramsay took to learn how to cook a beef Wellington or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's all relative. Like, I'm not faulting for your approach. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just want because like I said, I have kids. You know, you might. I don't want you to stress yourself out when you're watching them on the field and you're getting frustrated because he's just not into it.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
saying he won't be. Just he might
Yeah,
just be
no,
like.
no, I see what you're saying.
And I can see myself.
You can see yourself like pulling your hair out. Like, why doesn't he fucking get it? What the
No,
fuck?
not like that. So again, I'm not a parent. So you saw you saying the whole your son's on the field and he's just spacing out. I can already tell myself, my nephew.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not playing, I guess because it's also that me and myself.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I came in, I guess I started football late.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I started, my next year I was going into high school, and everyone had already had like 2 or 3 years under their belt.
Right.
And I'm just it always a gripe where it's just like, yo, I want to be better than the next man, and I hope that my son
Right.
or daughter has that will. You don't have to be the best player on the field,
Right.
That
but feel
competitive
that
edge, yeah.
competitive edge of like, yo, you don't have to be the star on the team, but contribute.
I think we're losing that, to be honest with you, though. And honestly, as far as
But-
generations are concerned, I truly do believe like we're losing a little bit of that, just because
that
like
edge.
yeah, just like the eat shit aspect of coming up through life, like I saw this thing where interns want to get paid now, or there has to be. I was like, my nigga, like I interned I did a little stint at Shady Records. I did internships at a video production. I got paid nothing.
Word.
I worked like I was getting paid $1 million because you just don't know what the next opportunity is, and it's a field I actually enjoy. So this idea, like, yo, you know what it is when you learning this shit. Like I'd rather work an internship than go to college and pay $100,000, and I still got to get an internship after that shit.
That's a fact.
Like, I'd rather eat shit at the actual in the building and figure out like, all right, just show me. And if I get it wrong, yell at me. I feel I could have played for Bobby Knight. I would have had no problem playing for Bobby Knight or a Bill Parcells. Or I love that. Like, people like discipline. They just
So that's
don't
what
know
I'm
it.
saying. Yeah. Everyone,
People like discipline.
Yes.
They just don't. I think it's a certain approach, but
yeah. So I had to
people
who was
like
coming from.
discipline.
Like, I guarantee you, if Michael Jordan was to come in here and Michael Jordan was to bark at everyone,
Right.
granted, I'm going to high, but it's because we understand, or Tom Brady, we already know that they're successful. It can't be someone that's not successful. Just because you're a boss doesn't mean you're a boss.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So, but like I remember, like he can contest the boss I used to work for at the school, his principal. This guy, he was a leader by any means. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the way how he talked to some of his employees,
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, it was low key like, yo, you want to take this outside?
Right.
no, some real
Right,
shit.
right.
But you know, but I guess the reason why everyone understood is because he was the hardest motherfucker in the building.
Yeah, like you take notes on that shit. Like Bill Belichick could call you a bitch, but he could be like, I got 6 rings to prove
You know
what
what
I'm
I mean?
doing is right. What the
And-
fuck you got?
And that's what it is. And I can, so going back to what you're saying, I can take that, but it can't just be from anybody. It has to be from someone that I know that if you're not just yelling at me because you already know you worked hard and you know what it takes to make it.
Right.
So I know why you yell at me. You can't just be.
I agree. I just think like this generation. I
mean,
love
I
TikTok.
definitely think it's getting soft and soft over the years.
I don't know if these young, like these kids, these teenagers got it in them to really learn what a true struggle is to earn what you really want.
So this is what I would say with
I agree.
the generational shift from your era to our era and to the
Right.
younger era. It's
Right.
so what the younger era has over both of us,
Right.
creativity.
Information too.
Yeah.
They have access. Like everything is accessible.
Oh,
right now.
like
everything.
these. I thought
I
I was
learned
a
way
tech.
more in TikTok than I've learned in school.
Yo,
bro.
no, for real.
Facts.
Yo,
Like,
no,
I
for
know how to
real.
remove wine from a rug.
Yo.
I know how to do all that shit now, bro. It's crazy.
You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. Then for us, so I feel like our generation is more so of the we don't gotta take no shit. Like type of like I feel like because our parents or our older,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
it was we have to work 3 jobs in order to put food on the table. I feel like our generation is low key like, oh, you don't come in tomorrow, you're fuck that job. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right,
we'll go
right.
ahead and find out.
No, you know what? That is true. Like, because I've hired people, and they're more else like, yo, preach, I don't need this shit. Like,
Yeah, you know what I
and I'm
mean?
like, yo, like, I worked for $8 an hour at a place, and I just ate it. 'Cause
You know what I
just,
mean?
Like, it was money, but
Yeah.
but you got to also realize, like, our parents coming here was their risk.
Mm-hmm.
Like going on that boat or that plane to America and learning a language and then finding a job and then to them that was their risk.
Yeah.
That was their opening opening up a business or being a boss or whatever. Like them getting here and actually building a family here with all the obstacles they did, that was their big risk. For us, it was like get into the game in any way we can and try to fuck it up. I think your generation is like, all right, we kind of want to do what we want to do.
So I agree, but not really more so. I think it's more so of, like, for me, watching my mom having to work 3 jobs, leave the house at 6, come back at like 8, 10. That was, I never saw my like, yo, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never liked it. I could never.
Not saying I don't respect her for it. I respect her dearly for it. But it's me thinking to myself, okay, how can I accumulate the amount of money she makes in that one day?
Right.
In one job or in a hustle?
Right.
Or it's, how can I don't want to get too much, but just leave that at that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what our generation.
It's also math too, though. I think we don't. If you really break shit down, bro, like if you took your salary and then divided it by 7,
I do that.
And then you say, oh, I gotta make what, $200 a day. All right, we could do that. Let's try to do it. I think if you really could solve some shit, like I think we also have an issue with understanding our worths. Like even I've had a problem with it early on. Like we were doing studio time for like $20 an hour. And we were like, yo,
we missed that shit.
We came on way too late.
We don't rack.
Yo, I remember, I'll never forget this email. This guy was like, yo, you're trying to do a radio station. Cool. He was like, I'd love to be a part of it. Cool. He's like, hey, but do you play that nigger shit? Because I don't want to. I don't want to do that shit.
You're lying.
I swear to God. Because he was like, yo, you're way too cheap to be legit. Never forget that shit. And I was like, well, we play everything, but you know what? From your response, I don't think it's gonna work out between us, regardless of the fact. So I was like, okay, I see how they look at us and shit, and what the thing is, but yeah, like it's yeah, that was crazy, but
yeah, that was a crazy.
That was crazy, but yeah, I think we're learning right now. I think I tell this to everybody. I tell this to y'all, like it's an even playing field, but it obviously we know there's certain obstacles we got to still deal with. But right now, y'all could fuck up the game, and no one needs to question you about it now. That what you got right there, that right there, these right here, those you put in your ears, this right here, this is enough. That's all the fuck you need now, bro.
I agree with you, but I think the generation that's really about to blow these doors open is the younger kids.
Yeah, because they're
brought into technology. Like we didn't grow up with going back to like what you're saying with your son and stuff like that. I remember as a kid, all I wanted to do was go outside and play.
Well, I also don't want to lose. Yeah, they don't want to do that.
You see what I mean? They rather like I knew this generation of kids were different.
Right.
When they watch other kids on the internet
play games, that's wild. I remember asking my kid, like, yo, what do you watch? He was watching Combo Panda. I'm like, what is this? He was like, I'm just playing a game. I'm like,
that's crazy.
You're watching him play? Why don't you play?
You know what I mean? Like, he'll have the blocks and stuff like the Beyblades, and they're watching other people. I'm like,
yo, it's crazy.
Yeah, like, I'm just like,
hell yeah.
That's when I knew, like, yo, this generation is built different. Just like, I would rather be out there. I remember all I wanted to do was go out there, catch the football, run. That's what built that grit, competitive nature.
I kind of see your point of view as far as the football, because football is the ultimate activity sport. Like, you're running, you're getting hit, but it's like that there's nothing like a locker room after practice or before practice, after a game, before game.
Jesus.
There's a camaraderie, there's a smell, there's a fucking, there's a conversation. There's there's a certain vibe that is like, you can't get that from gaming.
And football is not something that is welcoming at first.
No.
And that's what I was trying to say. You have to be a little fucked up in the head.
There's a point about it where it's like, yo, we just not, and I don't want to compare anything to war, but there's a low-key battle. Like, if I don't do my job,
right,
and you don't do your job, we're fucked. So we got to make sure we all do our job, or we are fucked.
And that's why going into it, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna make it a punishment thing for my kid to play sports, but I want my kid to gain that.
And you guys aren't concerned about like the concussions and the stuff like that.
So that's more so. I'm not trying to say I'm not concerned because I thought that's where he was going with it.
Nah, not at all. Nah.
But I've thought about it. Right. I don't want my kid the worst injury I've ever had, as far as close to that. I remember one time I seen stars. I never thought that was real.
Right, until you saw
I saw stars. Like, no, it's legit. You see stars. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Oh, shit. Who the fuck turned out the lights?
That's crazy. Yeah.
So there is an aspect of it that I do believe that is there, but I don't want to say the risk reward. I don't want to say it like that, but let's say he does take a serious hit.
Right.
Then obviously, all right,
you reevaluate.
Yeah, reevaluate. But going back to something you said too, I'm also this something I don't want to say I resent my parents for it, but I understand because working like I said, working like how they did. I'm gonna expose my kids to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I may not like ballet, but I'm gonna introduce my daughter. And guess what? If my daughter's amazing at ballet, guess what? So the greatest coach of all time didn't even play fucking tennis. Serena and Venus' dad.
That was her dad. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they do ballet and they're nice at it, well, guess I'm fucking. And I have no problem being. I seen this one video of a dad with his daughter at the dance recital. He's doing it because all the dance. I have no problem doing that.
Are you worried about the concussions or no?
Nah.
No, you don't. You don't. He's like, nah. Next
no,
for a few reasons. The equipment that they're making nowadays is getting more advanced and advanced and advanced. Like every year we have to send out helmets for reconditioning, and then the company Rydell sends us back helmets. So sometimes they won't send us the same helmets that we sent out.
Right.
They'll replace one that we sent out with a newer one.
Okay.
So we just got our helmets, and no bullshit. But when you put the helmet on now, it literally massages your head.
Oh yeah.
It's so soft on the inside, like
till you get hit and that should start ringing, nigga.
Right.
Yo, that one hit goes change all that.
What they're doing, and then at certain levels, like on a high school level, they're
not hitting that hard.
Yeah, they're not hitting.
Certain schools hit hard.
Right.
Yeah,
but I gotta say, like I've watching the NFL. There's certain hits. I've watched the NFL since early 90s and watching it now. The hits they sound, the players are bigger, they're faster, stronger. Like the hits that you hear on the field now.
So I think
the same what they were.
I think the opposite.
No, I think that.
They allowed more back in the day, but the hits now. Cause think about the average player back then was probably running a 4.6. You know what I mean?
Right.
Force. Like now these like
Ronnie
you have
Lott was not built like
Tyrann Mathieu.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Was not built like that. Now don't get me wrong, Ronnie Lott will knock you the fuck out. But if Tyrann Mathieu had the same intent as Ronnie Lott, and they've also reduced the amount of hits or type of hits you can make like that.
Right. So that's what I was trying to say. The game is being more protected. If you go on YouTube right now and type in NFL hardest hits.
Right. You're going to see 80s and 70s and fucking shit.
And 2000s. Like Brian Dawkins, Ray Lewis. When they first started, the hits that they were delivering on people was like ridiculous. Now the hits that's going on right now.
That hit Drew Bledsoe took.
But stuff like that.
So I'll give you that. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not so much more concerned about the concussions. Like I said, I get that I reevaluate. I had football injuries from regular shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like my wrist don't bend a certain way. Right. My pinky. This is years later. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just feel like the football. I don't know if you get the same camaraderie in basketball, but obviously it's a less physical sport.
It's more star driven too. And but I think thing about basketball and football is like it's more technical with basketball. Like,
but basketball it can be more of a me game.
Yeah.
Whereas like football, I need an O line to be successful.
I feel like with football play compared to basketball players, I seen there's like. Granted, maybe because I know more football players than basketball players, but I see that there's way more of a brotherhood. Like I know people who play football with each other in high school still hang out to today. Basketball players, they have a whole new clique of people. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
I think my school is just special because like I'm still Jeff, Boo, like them niggas is.
Where'd you go to school at?
I went to Lafayette. They went to Millwall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
where'd you go to school?
I went to Malloy, Archbishop Malloy.
I don't know what that is.
That's all. It was but they didn't even have football. I had to go. I played on the travel team leagues, and then played one season. I played the regular yard football, but then I went full tilt with basketball. But like to me, those were always like the best. Like just the locker rooms and the banter and getting to know people. That's how I made my friends. I didn't make my friends any other way than going to playing ball or playing sports.
And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that's the only way I feel like I know how to make friends is that because
Or talking about sports.
Yeah. But before we go ahead and get out of here, so just last one.
Right.
So do you miss sports? Like if you could still play sports today?
Yeah, I gotta get back into. I would love to play ball again. I was just at the park earlier today. Like I took my son there, and I was watching them play ball. They sucked, but I know I suck right now. The one thing about basketball is like if you play and you don't play for a while,
basketball
it's hard to get back to basketball shape. Basketball shape is a different
So I
type
give
of
basketball players that
cardio that you need.
Even
like
your
you got-
footwork and your mechanics, like it's just not the same
it's
because like
not the same.
your body don't react to snap back the same. Like because
I'm not even thinking. I'm thinking about full court. You know,
I can't,
play full court.
I don't even look at that shit. Bro.
So me and Train over here, we supposedly supposed to be having a 2-on-2.
Oh
versus
yeah,
because his girl and his girl's sister.
Oh, they play ball.
Oh yeah, they play ball.
Oh, they're gonna whoop y'all ass.
They're not.
You think you're just gonna back them down?
Posting up in the paint. I'll be damned if I lose. No offense. I know this Women's History Month and shit like
sister
that.
gonna fry out.
My sister is gonna do good.
No, I'm
Who's
fouling
your
her.
sister?
Are you in shape for the game?
I'm fouling.
Oh no.
I'm fouling.
who's
It's a part of the
It's
game.
11. It's half.
Nah.
So they
Who's
try to
guarding
tell
the sister?
When's the
I
last
can
time you
guard the
played
sister.
ball? When's the last time you played ball?
I don't need it.
Yo, but just by you making that sound, you start running laps now.
No,
bro.
we already started exercising and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I'm
you
getting
gotta-
back into shape. But
basketball shape, because the thing basketball shape is sprint, stop, sprint,
and still
jog,
getting low and getting
yeah.
low. So yeah,
It's a whole thing. So I wouldn't take them lightly at all.
like
bro.
one of them we in a chat, we talking, so we just saying stuff.
Y'all
right?
videoing this?
Nah. You said.
Y'all need to put it as part of the real is real
I'm
podcast.
telling niggas do this.
Listen.
Do it. Don't listen. Be able to stand by.
Listen, I
your
have no
position.
problem with but I don't think the women community is gonna agree. 'Cause they
don't
listen,
matter.
if they
It's
want to
not
be
for
treated
them.
equally. I promise
that's
you,
a different
and because he's more nicer than I have no problem.
Backing them down, right?
Throw a little shoulder, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you play ball, we play ball.
So you'll guard Glory?
Huh?
You'll guard because who
No, he
guard
got
sister?
guard his girl. I'm gonna guard the other girl.
Oh,
She's too nice.
She's gonna fry you up,
It's not
bro.
about being too fried. Like you say, you drive him to the basket. This is how Shaq would say you touch him up a little bit when he comes to the.
Right.
I'm gonna touch you up a little bit.
Yo, I ain't
If you
gonna
really
lie.
ball,
Yo,
you gotta
she-
be able to take
Can I
that.
see this game? Yo, she
Yo,
gonna
you gotta
shift you.
videotape this
Yo.
game. You gotta
Yo,
videotape
she's-
The only
She's
thing
nice,
that
bro.
scares me, only thing that scares me.
Yo, she play like
She has a
D3
scar
ball.
on her
Play
knee. So
Division
that
One.
probably means that she
Play
had
D1
surgery or something like
ball.
that. That means that she likes pain.
When was the last time they played ball?
Oh no, she just finished the season, won a
playing
championship.
Yo, they gonna oh my god, son.
She played at Xavier University.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
I put where's the money line? Listen, they probably just won a championship. I asked this nigga, I said, when's the last time you played ball?
Listen, I promise
She's
you.
like, yo, I just won the chip a week ago, bro. Like, we good to go.
I know, bro. That's bad.
When I mean to the extent how much I'm not worried, I'm not.
You're not worried?
I'm not worried.
Yo, bro.
I'm not worried. Because all I gotta do is score 11.
Yo, that's not easy.
Yo, if I can get 11 consistent points right here, run the pick and roll offense, or bring Shorty out all the way out to
Bro.
3-point line, pass Tim down low.
Bro.
Shorty like 5'5", 130. He could back her down and do the Kareem hook shot.
You know, Trainer's not that skilled, and Glory played back.
Who has the jump shot here? Who between y'all two?
We
You have
both
the
got
jump.
that.
No, Dave, you not saying you got a jump
Hold
shot.
on, you seen my jump shot?
no,
Don't do that.
Okay. Who has
So I have the bet. So what I'm banking on is defense. I can play really good defense.
Okay.
Granted, I haven't stayed low for that long of a period. No, it's not bullshit. No, it's not bullshit. I used to
have
play.
to see this. Where is this game taking place?
I want to see this.
Son,
game.
I don't want to do any more live events, but I might have to do one for this. Like, that's a fact.
Listen, I guarantee. So my biggest thing is gonna be lower back because
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
we don't run like that for that long. I can already know my lower
You're
back's
gonna
gonna be.
feel it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're gonna
But
feel it.
what I'm hoping for, so this is my strategy. If we can jump out to, like, let's say a 7-2 lead, cruise control after that. Just hand the ball off in the paint.
Yo.
Back down.
Yo,
Yo,
And
boom.
all right, so
Our biggest downfall is running. If we
What's
gotta
the-
run with these girls,
what's the size of the other girls?
5'5",
One is like
130.
5'7". Yeah,
But they're fast.
5'7".
But they're fast. They're agile.
They're agile. The
Bro,
agile one is-
I don't see.
No. One of them agile because only one of them just came
You
up.
think they're gonna win? Or you think the girls
the
are gonna
girls
win?
gonna win.
Oh, all right.
The
Yo,
girls
yeah,
gonna win.
really giving them.
I gotta see the game. I want to be at the game.
This is not free throws. Like if it was like free throws or for pure jump shots, yeah. I highly
I'm
doubt.
just worried about how in shape you guys are, because you're saying his game is only 11.
11, yeah, it's not bad.
After the first, like, the sprint and the go, you're going to be like...
So that's what I'm trying to say. And again, I'm not trying to sound sexist. I don't think I got to jump that high to get these rebounds.
Yo, she plays
She 5'11".
Division I basketball.
Yeah, she 6 foot.
Again, she not 6 foot. She
5'11", yeah.
Yo, them
she
spare...
not 5'11".
Yeah, she is.
When you get on
I
that
seen
ball...
her.
You never
No,
seen
she
her?
never
Oh, this is
seen
the
her.
other one I didn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
When
the one
you
that's
get in
in
that
play
ball
dual
court-
court.
No. Matter of fact, I might take that shit
let
back.
me tell you
Hold on.
something.
If
When
she's
you-
really 5'11", damn, this shit not going
When
down.
you get on this ball...
If she 5'11",
Let me tell you something. When you get on this ball court, every junk food you've ever eaten, just
Yeah, so come back
those
to
spare
you.
rib tips you ate, you
That's
like
true,
you
though.
feel them. Them chips you had, them onion rings you had, you feel them.
Yeah,
I'm saying this right now. If she's legit 5'11",
That
this
sip
game
of
is not.
Henny-
This shit's not going down.
You feel all that shit.
Yeah, she plays D1 ball.
I
What do you
could
think?
take a D1 basketball.
No, you
player.
cannot,
Yo,
David.
just tell me when and where I'm pulling up, and I gotta see it.
I thought it was the other sister. She 5'11".
Yo,
I
this
can't
is-
guard no 5'11".
Yo,
She-
This was fun, man. I had a lot of fun,
I
man.
see her picture.
Yo, Preach, we appreciate you for coming on,
Nah, man,
man.
thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
It's been a
man.
long time coming. I hope everything that you strive for in life, you gain, man.
Nah, I
And,
appreciate y'all, man. And y'all too. Same thing with y'all, man.
Bro,
I wish y'all the best success. Also, let me shout out Georgie's new single out right now. Who shout out to her. She's on Mano's podcast. So shout out to her. Check out the Rock Gooden featuring Illa G shit out right now. CSL Studios. Oh, Native 90, which we didn't even get to, but that's cool. The Abram brand that we got going. And look for us in the city coming in like days. So we're here.
Word.
And thank y'all, man. Shout out the Real is Real podcast, man.
Word. Shout you out, Preach, man.
Love
You
y'all,
did your thing. Appreciate you for coming on. So this is the Real is Real podcast. I go by the name of Skills alongside my co-host.
I am DJ Train.
And I am Theo the Great.
I actually wanted to read something instead of like coming off the top of the head. Instead of Gucci or Dior, buy something from one of your friend clothing line at full price. Your friend designs are dope too. Support your people, y'all. You don't want to buy all that fancy shit, but they don't support you. Support your people. This is the Real is Real podcast. I go by the name of Skills. We will holla at y'all.